Shalom, welcome to Demystify the Divine, weekly readings and tools to connect. So excited to be with you guys today on this Wednesday, Hump Day Holla. How's everyone doing this week? We went through a new moon. We're getting ready for an interesting full moon coming up. We are in the first quarter energy right now, and it's very interesting. I'm noticing with client sessions, I've got like one part of the client sessions that are feeling the same way that I'm feeling, where there's like an upliftment and flow of energy and creativity and sort of a real ability to rise out of what has, very recently been, almost like an insurmountable impasse. And then I've got other clients who are like in the thick of things, in the throes of things. So it's a really challenging energy, I want to say, to be in at this time. So, wherever you fall, I want to say it can be challenging when we feel uplifted and feel like, okay, yay, like my purgatory is over. I'm showing my Catholic roots. My purgatory is over, and I'm moving forward. And sometimes it can be hard to feel that when you know that there are other people that are sort of suffering, right? And then there is also that compassion for the people who are in the trenches, right? So yeah, I'm sending everyone lots of love, and I'm hoping that today we can get some real clarity and guidance to kind of lift up the energies. I have no idea who's going to show up today. But we got a really cool show. So thank you to everyone who is new. Maybe this is your first time tuning in. Welcome. I'm Stacey, the Black Feather Intuitive. So happy to have you here. We do a little bit of everything in this show. We do some channeling. We do some card pulls. We do sort of just regular tune-ins. We do a little Q&A, teaching you how to, tools on how to interpret the cards for yourself. Little Q&A, card pulls for everyone. So a little bit of everything, lots of nonsense and shenaniganery. I'm sure one of the cats is going to make their appearance at some point today as well. And for those of you who are loyal fans, so grateful always to have you guys here, to know that when I show up and do these shows, I'm not talking to myself, or it's not Keone and I, just sort of staring at each other.
And what's wrong with that?
There is nothing wrong with that. You are right.
There's
absolutely nothing wrong with that.
I'm going to have to get a little closer to you. I just want to use my new remote.
I love it. I got to tell you guys, so you guys know I do all my little YouTube shorts. I've kind of figured out how to do those. They're not like the pristine ones, like all the people that make a ton of money on their YouTube shorts. Well, I found this one guy. I think his name is Jake the Stallion. He's been around for a long time. He does these funny little like minute-long shorts, and he always does that. Come closer. And the remote just zooms right in, and it makes me giggle every single time. So when you just did that, it made me think of that. Jake, I think his name is Jake the Stallion, or Jake. Yeah, Jake That's something cute. Or other. Anyway, it's very, very funny. Very funny. So let's get this show on the road. I'm going to go into my happy place right now and tune in to see what our guides want us to know in terms of a word of the week or a phrase of the week. Sometimes they come through with that, and we'll go from there. Powerful presence. Feeling like this week it's important to consider presence in your life. Are you being present in your now? What kind of presence do you show up in a room with? Do you hold your presence? Do you, I want to say, shy away from your presence at this time? Powerful presence. Power has been coming up a lot, and I feel like it is sort of floating around in the collective right now because we have a lot of power struggles. We've had them for a long time. It's nothing new, and yet there's more awareness and acknowledgement of it being brought onto the planet today. And I think it's because so much has been going on, and we are in the age of communication where you can talk to someone halfway around the world in a half a second doing FaceTime, and you're connecting and it's easy. Versus, when I was growing up, I'm going to give away my age here, but when I was growing up, I went to Italy and it was calling cards, and I didn't have a cell phone. So, nobody knew where I was unless I reached out and called them. And then it was with a calling card, and you had to put money in the freaking machine in order to get someone. And there was, international codes and, talking to an operator and all that jazz. Today, we don't have those complications. It's direct line communication. And as a result of that, I feel like we have no choice but to be more aware. We have no choice but to be more present with what is actually going on. And I want to say it's the ripple effect. It no longer is something that we can shy away from or close our eyes or our minds or our hearts to. If it's happening across the world, it's affecting us because we're seeing it, we're witnessing it in real time. So power is a dynamic that I feel we're being called to rewrite or to utilize differently. And all it takes is each of us to make the choice to use our power for good, to step in and say, I have the choice here to exert my power. This person really pissed me off and I'm in the right. I could very easily use my power to get this person in trouble, or I could very easily use my power to eviscerate this person or to insult this person or to make them feel worse than perhaps they already do. I have the choice to do that. I also have the choice to say, how do I want to rewrite the use of power? How do I want to see power utilized out in the world? What is real power? There are layers and levels of power. And yeah, that's one form of power that is prevalent on the planet. Is it serving anybody? Is it getting us where we want to be? No, it's not. So along with everything else that we're shifting up, bringing order to chaos, this is another opportunity for us to do that very thing and to rewrite the way we choose to use power. There's power in silence. And I feel like this ties into that powerful presence piece as well. Sometimes all we have, or sometimes the meat and potatoes of something, is in the silence, letting someone sit in their own thoughts, in their own choices, in their own feelings. I just got off the phone with not one, but 3 clients today where this was also a theme. Just as I'm talking about it, I'm realizing, yeah, this has been a theme for today as well, is that silence piece. And, sometimes we have the urge or the need to explain ourselves, to try and validate or vindicate ourselves. And I feel like it's more powerful to have a presence, to say what you need and then be silent, or to pick and choose when it's even beneficial to say something, and maybe when it's more beneficial just to remain silent. We don't have to prove our worth to anyone. We have a powerful presence on this planet. You and I sitting here right now, you might not feel powerful in your presence, but I feel you. And everyone that is in this experience with all of us right now, we're all feeling each other. You are powerful in your presence. There's an option for you in terms of how you choose to acknowledge that, how you choose to show up in that. So that feels really important. Powerful presence. Take time this week to just kind of notice how you're showing up in the world. Notice where you might be pulling away and ask the question, am I pulling away because I'm being called to do that? Or is it my ego that's pulling me away? I'm shying away from something that maybe I need to be more powerfully present in rather than avoiding. Am I running from something or am I facing it head on? Yeah, powerful presence and all that entails. Interesting. Feeling a channeling coming on. So we'll do the channeling and then we'll do the card pull. Leonie, do you have a title card for that? I don't think we do, right? I just go right into the channeling.
You just go into it.
All right, let's do it. Greetings, dear ones. I am Archangel Metatron. I am honored to be connecting with each of you this day, this afternoon, this evening. I am connecting with each of your hearts today, individually. Take a moment right now to bring awareness to your heart space. The heart of humanity is what is shifting and changing. This is the goal of all of the ascension that you find yourselves in and on. And it has to do with the heart frequency. Feel the energy that I share with you now. Feel its warmth. Some of you may feel it as heat. Some of you may feel it as a tingling sensation. Some of you may not feel anything at all, but you know that it is happening. My energy is your energy, and your energy is my energy. We are one, ever connected in the heart of the galactic community. I could share many words of comfort. I could share predictions of where things are heading for you this week and this month and this year. But today, on behalf of the Archangelic Collective, I share with you an exchange of energy, a transmission of frequency, because at this juncture, in your transformations, the heart is the key. We spoke of this recently in your Phoenix Rising event as well. There was much focus on the heart. This is no coincidence. This is not by accident. The heart is what you are expanding. And as each of you are experiencing an individual life with individual choices, many of you who are watching this today have the added purpose of expanding the collective's heart. We cannot share this message enough. And feel into that heart space and know that your heart beats. Feel the blood flowing and pumping in and out of this juncture. Know that the life force that is flowing through your body also flows through the heart of the galaxy. You do not always know what is beyond your atmosphere. And there are many unknown surfaces and mysteries yet to be discovered. But at the heart of everything is this life force frequency. The energy that courses through your heart also courses through the universe and the multiverses, through our angelic hearts, and through Source. For all comes from Source. I wish to bring your perspective inwards, to bring that awareness that you are not so alone and so isolated on this big blue planet. The energy of Source connects all. Remember this. Connect with your heart frequencies at least once every day to remind yourself of your deep connection to Source. We will continue this transmission throughout the remainder of the show. We step back now with much love. Be at peace. All right, Keone, what time is it?
Megatron likes you a lot.
Yeah, well, Metatron's one of my big guides. He's been with me for a really long time. Yeah. So he works with me. I invite him to work with me often. But yeah, when I channel, he does tend to come through quite a bit. All right, so I'm very in the clouds. I probably look like I've had 3 glasses of wine. I swear to you, all I've had today is water. I've actually not done wine in, I don't know, like a week or something, which, you know, it is what it is. Most of the time I usually have a glass of wine a day with my meal, but I've been too busy. So here we go. All right, enough about me. Let's see what interesting messages we have to, I want to say, expand on our powerful presence and some of the, I want to say, the transmission that Metatron gave us. So I mentioned last week that I've been really feeling called to cards that don't have words on them. And so one of the card decks that I've been working with for years, since I started my love of cards, is the Oracle of Visions. And when I first got this card deck, I treated it as a tarot deck. So today we're not actually going to have a traditional tarot deck. We're going to do Oracle of Visions. And then I also have another Oracle deck that has keywords on it. And I thought we would call in the Angels of Atlantis. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. We would call in the Angels of Atlantis tonight to give us some information and energy. So here's what we got for our Oracle of Visions. And so just like what I did last week, I'm going to stare at the card a little bit, get my message first, and then pass it on to you guys. So just bear with me here. Okay. So very interesting card. We see this woman and she looks very stern. She's got a lot of responsibility. She's got a lot of things. She's organized. She's very organized. She's dotted all the I's and crossed her T's. But she does not look particularly joyous and joyful. And yet there's quite a bit of light. There's light in the background here for her, and there's light in the front as well. And I feel like she's not focusing on the light, but the light is there. So the guidance that I'm getting here around our message this week is really about paying attention to what you're focusing on. We can talk about this in terms of manifestation, that we bring into our lives what we put our focus on. We manifest into the physical the things that we're focusing on. Had a conversation with a couple of clients earlier this week about watch your words, watch your words around your health. If you're automatically talking about how much you're afraid of getting some kind of horrible disease, and that's what you're focusing on, your body is going to hear that. And your body's going to create an environment because it thinks that that's what you want. You need to overcome the fear of that. So how do we overcome the fear of something? By facing it head on. We don't have to do that. We don't have to go the hard route. We really can go more, I want to say, into a space of been there, done that, and bought the t-shirt. I don't need to have that experience, universe. Let me focus on the light. Let me focus on what is right in front of me at my fingertips. So this card, I feel, is inviting us this week to really bring about a little more focus into the things that are bringing us a little more joy. Yes, you can still be organized. You can still dot your I's and cross your T's, but you can do it with a little more fun, a little more finesse. I'm also feeling a strong message here about the light is ahead of her and behind her. So, I often say the universe has your front, back, sides, bottom, and top. It's up to you to trust that, to lean into that and know it to be so, know it to be your absolute truth. So I feel like this card is really helping us to focus on the light. Now, there's this beautiful, I want to say it's like what do they call that? The look into my crystal ball. And in the crystal ball is a key. So if she's really paying attention and she's focused, the key is right in front of her. And there's a connection to the past. It's not that she has to dive into the past in order to get the key. It's that there's a key to her future connected to an experience that she's had in her past. I feel like this is applicable to each and every one of us this week. Each of us is going to have a little aha moment if we open ourselves to it, where we look at what's in front of us and we go, oh, wait a second, I've done that before. Or, gosh, I haven't thought about this in years, but I actually went through a program, or I did a blah, 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 or I worked on a project where we had to dive into this. I wonder if I can take that and apply it to this problem that I'm having, right now, or how I can move forward. So I feel like there's a key to your future connected to the past, and it's in the light. So you need to be in the light in order to receive it. If you're in the shadow or you're in the details, you're in the 3D, you're going to miss it. Also, she's got sort of bluish curtains behind her, and I feel that there's an energy of that throat chakra, the finding your truth, speaking your truth, learning to communicate it in a creative way. One of our yearly themes, our theme for 2023 is creative fusion. And I feel like this is a great depiction of that, is that there is a lot of creative energy. How are you accessing it? Are you trying to access it doing the same old things that you've done for years and years, or are you accessing it doing something new? I want to say the key is in the future. The key is in the new, shedding the light on it, not always doing the same thing over and over again. So from a communication perspective, and I feel like this is communication with self, communication with source and your dream team, you might want to be shifting some things up a little bit, open to the mystery, open to the new, open to the unexpected. Because when we are open to that, when we allow ourselves the space to manifest that, the unexpected happens in really amazing ways. And I feel like that's how we open more deeply and more fully to our gifts. Also drawn to the 31 here. It's a number 31. So the fours have been coming up a lot. 31, 3 plus 1 is 4. Numerologically, it breaks down to that 4. Foundation. We are building a new foundation. Metatron talked about the heart space and helped us to focus on the heart space. We've been getting that a lot. I can't tell you how many times the heart has been the focus. Just recently, the heart has been the focus. We are establishing a new foundation where that heart frequency can thrive. It can come out and it can thrive. So where are you building your frequency foundation this week? I feel like this is also coming up for that. The key is the key to the future is in the past, but it's not diving deep into the past. It's grabbing onto things you've already learned and applying it. That's what wisdom is all about. You can have all the knowledge and the book smarts in the world, but if you don't apply it, you're not very wise. How do you grow? How do you move forward? So choose the wisdom, choose the application. Okay, our second card pull, as I said, is from Angels of Atlantis. This is Stuart Pierce. Oh my God, you guys, you cannot make this shit up. Metatron coming through with mercy. So here we are. I love this. Okay, so this week, while we are exploring our future through the wisdom of our past, the application of what we've learned from the past, it's also important to step into that space of mercy. Whenever we are going into the past about something, there's usually a little gremlin that comes up around the way that we've been mistreated, or a situation where we have not felt vindicated or we felt wronged. This is why going into the past takes, I want to say, you want to go in with kid gloves. You want to be not tenuous, but you want to be very present and aware, powerfully present and aware, because you don't want to get caught up in the web of the past. That's not what it's about. It's recognizing, okay, I'm going to have mercy on myself and others. And I'm just going to pluck from the past the lesson, the gift in all of it. And Metatron, folks, is here to help. Check this energy out. So this is a bit of I want to say almost like a little bit of a religious tone or a medieval tone, which is kind of not my jam. But I do love these cards because the energy of these cards is great. And so I feel like the message here as well is when you've got this sort of priestly father or kingly energy, actually kingly is actually more like it. We've got a king blessing someone or providing mercy, to this person who maybe messed up or didn't follow the rules so much. I feel like there's an energy here that Metatron is trying to convey around past stuff. Don't get caught up in the stuff that you didn't do right or that others didn't do right. He's here to keep you focused, to keep your eye on the prize, so to speak, and be able to move forward. And understanding as well, when we're looking at sort of the kingship or the queenship, it's sovereignty. Reminding yourself, and I want to say, this is providing mercy, but I also want to say to you, there's an energy, and this is just what's coming up for me. It's the inner rebel that's coming up for me to say, who is this king to provide mercy? That it implies an uncomfortable power dynamic. Ding, ding, ding. So how can we change that through our mercy? We don't have to be in uncomfortable power dynamics. We can simply step into the space of how would I wish to be treated. I feel that that's kind of the message that's coming through, and Metatron is going to help with that. Metatron's going to assist. I'm also really drawn to sort of the sigil energy that's coming up here through Metatron. And of course, his color is that translucent white, that diamond white. And this shows a little bit of silver as well. Coming full circle, I feel that a lot of us this week are going to be faced with challenges that we've been faced with before. Things come full circle. And anything that you haven't already dealt with, it's going to come full circle. It's going to be presented to you as an opportunity to, I want to say, to re-explore it. Okay, shh. Sorry, I had my food delivered because I haven't had a chance to eat. I've been going solid all day. The doorbell rang, and so now Merlin is freaking out. So he's okay. Everything's okay. So things coming full circle, and don't feel when this comes up for you oh my God, I got to go through this again. I don't feel like that's what's happening. I feel like these things are coming up because now is the time to release it. Now is the time to bring it into your heart space and to transmute it so that it no longer holds you captive or holds you caught, in the hamster wheel. Because that's really what it is sometimes we can get very caught up in the hamster wheel that the third dimensional world presents as truth or as the only reality offered to us or afforded us. So yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a scattered message. There's a bunch of stuff that's coming up there, but that's what I got for you guys. I feel like you want to own your own sovereignty. You want to be your own sovereign. You also want to really pay attention to how would I wish to be treated if the shoe was on the other foot. Also remembering no matter what my status or my level is, I'm the same as the next person. There's no hierarchy in the grand scheme of things. We are all one. And so when you grant mercy to another, you receive mercy. None of us are squeaky clean. None of us are smelling like roses all the time, right? So consider that. And I feel like that is connected to that powerful presence as well, that this is a powerful presence when you are in a position to provide mercy or to dole out mercy to yourself. It's powerful presence. It's the presence of source. It's the presence of the all that is coursing through our veins. All right, that's what I got for you guys. Whew. Okay, I just realized I don't have a pen or a paper here, so I'm going to just use my phone to come up with some questions for all of us to ask.
Are you winging it?
Take our YouTube and letting people know. Oh, before I let you take it away, I just want to make a quick mention. I sent a post out today on Facebook, but I want to mention it again here for anyone who didn't get the post. For those of you who've been following me for years, you know that I used to do Winged Wednesday, and this has now become sort of Winged Wednesday. It's a souped up version. And I have had Wing Woman Crystal with me for a number of years. Wing Woman Crystal's brand new grandbaby has been just, going through hell and back to struggle and survive this world. And apparently his name is Cohen, and he needs some dialysis. This little nugget, I think he's only 3 months old, maybe not even. He needs some dialysis. And his family has set up a GoFundMe page because mom's been in the hospital this whole time. She hasn't even been home. They have 2 other children. It's been crazy. So I just want to point that out. We could all send some love and some well wishes to Cohen and Wing Woman Crystal, who still is a part of things. She's just more in the background with what we do here. And check out the post on my Black Feather Intuitive business page if you'd like to contribute. No amount is too small, and we're all in it together. So whether you want to offer support, words of love and encouragement and support, or you want to contribute, or both, I know that they would be extremely grateful. So thank you for that. I just wanted to share that. Okay, so I'm going to come up with a couple of questions here, and now Keone, you can take it away.
Come up with 2 questions, huh?
Yeah, 2 questions.
I'm wondering what those 2 questions are going to be today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today here on Demystify the Divine, 8 p.m. on Wednesday. YouTube people, thank you for being here. YouTube family, Facebook family, thank you for being here. As always, please look in the live chat on YouTube and the chat at Facebook if you would like to join live. We will answer live questions first, and then we will go to the chat box. In the description box, there are a lot of services that Stacey provides. One of the things that are on there that some people may not be aware of is she has a merchandise store. So you click on that link if you want some Demystify gear. I don't know is your deck on there, Stacey?
That's a good question. I don't know. There's a wisdom.
I think
it is actually. I think it is there.
Yeah. So go in there, check it out. Some great merchandise. Of course, they don't have my size shirt. I needed a small, if you couldn't tell. I'm a pretty petite guy, They don't have my size. Indu, I see you in the backstage laughing. It's not funny. I was being serious. Okay. Where's the other hand? All right. I didn't know if you guys know I could see you when you're backstage before I bring you on. I got Indu, and the wonderful Lindsay is returning back to us again. Thank you for those who come back every week. Have not seen Try and Tracy in a while. Hope they are doing excellent. If they come back and watch this, I want them to know that I gave them a shout out. Chris Dennis says, thank you so much, Stacy, for mentioning Keon. We deeply appreciate everyone's prayers and good wishes. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. For sure. Yeah, I'm hoping that you guys get what you need for his surgery. I wish I could have contributed more. And I plan to contribute more as things go. But we're all in this together. So yeah, Crystal is in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, she is in Canada. And so is her grandbaby. So I feel like someone's asking this question for a reason. Let me explain the way that the Canadian system works. There's an idea out there that everything is covered, and that's not actually accurate. There's a lot that's covered. You can walk into any doctor's office and get seen, if you need treatment and all the rest of it, but not everything is covered. And with circumstances like this, and I don't know the exact circumstances, but it's so like the baby stuff is covered, but it's mom and dad who now no longer can work because they have to be in the dialysis treatment space with the baby to make sure that everything's going on. And then, who takes care of the other kids at home, and, all of those things. We know here, being in the US, when you get sick, it's not good. You can have, coverage and still be out a lot of money, going through what you need to go through. So yes, there are things that are covered in Canada. The basics are covered. Absolutely. But there's a lot more that goes into it. So, I'm not even sure who asked that question, but just to clarify that was one of the questions was, wait, I thought they were in Canada, so why do they need money for medical care? There's a lot more that goes into that. So just wanted to share that. Okay, so who we got first?
We have the wonderful, how did you know you were first, Indu?
Hi, Indu. Because I just heard you saying you can see me backstage. That's how.
Okay, all right.
Hi, Stacy.
How are you, girl?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm alive and well. I'm kicking and tuning in and kicking and tuning in, and it's all good.
Do you want to go pick up your meal?
Oh, no, not at all. You're so sweet. Aw, Indu, you are so sweet. No, I'm fine. I actually expected them. I wanted them to deliver it for 9, right at the end. And when you want it early, they're like an hour late. And when you want it late, they're an hour early. So it's all good. All good. Okay. No worries at all. So what are we tapping into for you today? Do you have your own deck you'd like me to pull for you?
Please lead kindly light. I want you to pick the cards for me.
Okay, sounds great. So, I didn't even say what the card or the questions are. So the first question that we're going to explore today is, how can I best access my past wisdom to apply to my future this week? And then question 2, how can I connect to my powerful presence this week to make the most of the energies around me?
Excellent.
So, I'm going to actually pull an angel card for you for the first one. So how can I best access my past wisdom to apply to my future? I thought it was going to be one, and that one just flew out. So this is the one. Oh, I love it. So you got Mikael.
Okay.
So the best way for you to access your past wisdom and apply it to the future is through enchantment. So what do we think of when we think enchantment? We think princes and princesses. We think star fairy wands. We think pixie dust. We think awe and wonder, right? So I feel like for you, this is actually really perfect because it's giving you permission to say, I don't necessarily want to dive into the past because there are some things about the past that I'm really working hard to not always be sitting in. But this is saying, if I go in with that pixie dust and my little fairy wand, I get to wave my magic wand and just land on the actual nugget of wisdom and pull the nugget of wisdom out without having to evaluate how I got the nugget of wisdom. And when you pluck that nugget of wisdom out and you apply it, it's applying it through that enchantment space. So playfulness, seeing the beauty in life, seeing the, I want to say, the gift in the ordinary and making it extraordinary is what I keep hearing. Also, when I look at the card itself, there's a beautiful unicorn on here. And Indu, you are a beautiful unicorn. So I feel like we're kind of looking at, I don't want to say it's a self-portrait, but we're looking at, I want to say, a soul portrait. You are a very beautiful unicorn. And I feel like Mikael is coming through this week as well to say to you, let's focus on the unicorn. The unicorn has all sorts of magic. The unicorn isn't a horse. It doesn't have to do things the way that horses do it on the planet. The unicorn gets to fly. The unicorn gets to sprinkle its fairy dust and change things up. And I want to say create beautiful illusions for people who maybe are in lower vibrational energies so that they can rise to the occasion and you can skirt by and get where you need to go without having to dive deep into those lower vibrational frequencies. So that's really cool. Also purple. So lots of third eye energy. All right, your second card. How can I connect to my powerful presence this week to make the most of the energies around me? Oh, I love this. You're going to love this. So check this card out. It's like peaceful. It's rest and relaxation. There's wind blowing, but she's protected. She's safe and secure. She's got this beautiful filigree umbrella that is keeping her safe. She's snoozing. She's sleeping. She's wrapped around the pole so that she's secure. She's got a wand. She's got a wand in her hand. So I feel like that ties in with what I was saying about the wand, the fairy wand, and the pixie dust. She's got the wand in her hand, and there's bubbles. The bubbles I feel for you when we're talking about your powerful presence, it's understanding that power comes in various forms and guises, and maybe your power comes in the form of the beautiful bubbles of love and energy that you send out into the world. When a bubble lands on somebody, it's gentle. You know, it doesn't have to pack a punch. It can be very gentle, but when you blow bubbles, you know, especially when you're a kid and you got that little, you know, bubble thing in the plunger, there's like a million bubbles that come out, right? A million bubbles. That's how you can, I want to say, really connect with your powerful presence, is understanding that the power comes in your softness. The power comes in your diplomacy. The power comes in your gentleness, but there's so much of it. So a little goes a long way for you, is what I want to say. It's quality, not quantity. No, it's that, but I feel like you've got a lot. There's a lot. There's quality and quantity. When you're blowing those bubbles, it can reach a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. So you don't have to work so hard, I want to say, to really be able to connect with that powerful presence. So I want to say, take a load off, chill out. Even when the breeze is cuckoo, you're safe, you're protected. And you've got that wand, you've got that magic wand. Blow those bubbles. That's so cool. I love that.
It is cool. And it kind of hits the mark.
Awesome. I love that. I love to hear that.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
my
much.
dear. Always so good to see you and see the hand. Hi,
Yes,
right. Sending you both so much love.
Good night, guys.
Take care.
Byron, next we have Lindsay.
Lindsay, how are you? You can't
Oh,
hear?
you can't hear us? Uh-oh. Check your audio settings. Okay. And then while she's trying to fix that, we'll go to one that's in the chat. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Lindsay, I can still hear you when you change your audio around. Oh, she can't hear me. Message her.
Yeah.
Oh, why am I telling her that? She can't hear me. Okay, let's see. Melissa says, getting my power back. That was in reference to something that you mentioned earlier.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Awesome.
And Jade says, can I have a card pull, please?
Yes, Jade, absolutely. So I'm going to pull for number 2 for you. How can I connect to my powerful presence this week to make the most of my energies? I'm going to pull from the Angels of Atlantis deck for you. Jade, you've got something coming up this week that I feel is like it's like niggling in the back of your mind. It's something that keeps coming up for you. It's a smaller thing, but it's one of those things where it's like, you know, when you have like, okay, here's a perfect example. You know, when you have like a tag in your shirt, and most of the time when you're wearing it, it's fine. But every once in a while, there's like a little piece of the corner of the tag that just gets in you, and it's irritating the whole time. It's not killing you. It's not life or death, but it definitely kind of messes with your mind, right? Like it's something that's always there. I feel like there's something coming up for you this week where you're going to have an opportunity to resolve that once and for all. And I feel like you need to be very clear and concise and direct in what you choose. So we'll see what the card has to say. It has nothing to do with the card. I'm just picking up on that for you. But I feel like you want to not be afraid to choose and to be clear, concise, and direct in your choice. Don't be wishy-washy about it, because it's time to just let that go. I feel like that's kind of important. Okay, so how can you connect to your powerful presence this week to make the most of the energies around you? Holy shit balls. Another Mikael, I am presence. Okay, so there's your mantra. There's your affirmation. Every day when you wake up, before you get out of bed, I am presence. How do I choose to be present in my moment? How do I choose to be present in my life today? How do I choose to be present in all of my activities, in all of my responsibilities, in all of my to-do and my tasks? How can I be present in my heart space? How can I be present with the people that I am engaging with? This week, I feel, and we've got sort of like a throne here as well. So, you know, we've got a lot of sovereignty energy that's coming up and coming through. And for you, you know, I just think this is hilarious. How can I connect to my powerful presence this week to make the most of the energies? Own it. Own it. I am presence. I am here. Claim it. Don't take no for an answer, even from yourself. And from yourself is that ego space, right? Sometimes our ego space, I want to say, can trick us into thinking that, you know, we're not worthy of that, or that there might be a problem with that. No. Own it. I have nothing more to say. I feel like that's your message. I feel like we got a little, you know, forward thinking message, and then boom, mic drop. Archangel Mikael came through and did a mic drop on you. So I hope that, I hope you enjoy that. And I hope you really embrace that presence energy. Also, one more quick little thing. Pink and purple with a little bit of the gold. So the pink is connected to the heart chakra. It's the unconditional love, self-love, self-care. I feel like that's a big message for you this week as well. Putting yourself first. Putting yourself first. Putting yourself first is golden. That is the foundation that you're creating for yourself. That is what is going to get you where you want to be. That's going to also help you with that clear, concise decision that you're going to make. Thank you so much for submitting your question. All right, Lindsay, can you hear us now?
I can. Hello.
Yay! Success. I know technology is just like, what the F, right? Every day there's something
We're
new.
another retrograde. No, I'm just kidding.
No, my God. Well, maybe we should just call the whole of 2023 retrograde. I don't know. I think sometimes it's actually me, because I have all sorts of interesting technology things, and it is the show. I'm the common denominator here, right? So eventually I have to kind of say, okay, what part am I playing in all of this technology stuff? So what are we tapping into for you today?
I have cards that I can pull to answer the question.
Yay! Awesome. All right. So your first question: how can I best access my past wisdom to apply to my future?
The moon.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. So the moon is mystery. The moon is connected to patterns and cycles. The moon is connected to our intuition. it's also, I don't know if I said this already, but it's also about illusion. So I feel like for you, it's understanding what was illusion in the past so that you don't get sucked up into the story again. And you simply go to the, what was the lesson? What was the lesson? Because the lesson is the wisdom, right? So don't get sucked up into the illusion of it. And when you are taking a little trip down memory lane, because you're looking for something in particular, you also really want to make sure that you set yourself up for success by being very open and connected to your intuition, because your intuition is also going to take you right to the heart of it so that you don't have to get involved in all of the other nonsense and shenaniganery. Feeling that in some really powerful ways. And I do see for you 2 particular times this week where you are going to be doing a little trip down memory lane. And not necessarily that it's going to be a bad thing, but there's one that you're going to be a little bit nervous about. You're like, I don't know if I want to go down that path. But, and the wisdom nugget that you get from it, I feel is worth, and it's also going to help you, it's worth it. And it's going to help you to, I want to say, shift a little bit of your perspective. It's like taking back a little bit of your power. So you don't feel so fearful of it anymore. You're kind of like, oh, okay, that wasn't so bad. And I kind of get why things went the way they went. So there's going to be a little bit of aha moment, realization around it.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Second card. How can I connect to my powerful presence this week to make the most of these energies?
Let's see. 5 of Wands.
Oh, great card. Okay. 5 of Wands really is connected to focus or scattered energies. And so what I'm feeling for you here, connecting to your powerful presence, it's about eliminating the chaos, eliminating the scattered energies and putting the focus on self. I happen to know you have a beautiful child. And sometimes when we are parents to children, children can take up all the air in the room, right? And there's no air for us. And all we need is just a tiny little space for ourselves. So what I'm feeling here is making that, like removing the chaos. So obviously you don't want to remove your son, but I feel like it's understanding when I am going into this zone, I need to make sure that I don't have responsibility of my son right now. I don't have anything else on my mind that is taking precedence. So, sometimes I am I almost said I'm a victim of it. No, I perpetuate it. Where I'm like, oh my God, I got to meditate because I've got, 50 clients coming up and I got to do this and I got to do that. It defeats the purpose entirely, right? It's, wait a second. No, I want to be purposeful. I want to take this time for me. And I feel like that's how you're going to connect to that presence. By not trying to fit it in, you're saying, okay, I'm removing everything and anything, including whatever's going on in my head. I'm going to write it all down so that I can have presence in my own body. I can own my own mind. I can own my own heart space and own my own space. Does that make sense the way I'm explaining that?
Yeah, it does. I think it's really apt because I'm coming off of like a really, really, really busy February. And when I come off of those very busy periods and I have some time to like decompress, it somehow always kind of lends itself to like reflecting on the past and wanting to take time for myself and prioritize that, space. So anyway, yeah, it's on point.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm going to just say as well, with our Metatron card, with the Mercy, and I talked about the full circle, you want to think about that. That's obviously a pattern that you have with your work and recognizing, okay, that pattern or that cycle, I can honor that by putting in the work and the effort and then taking the couple of days to give myself that reflective space to kind of recharge and regroup. Can you take some time off in the next couple of days?
Yeah, probably. I could.
It might be something to think about. If you can't do it in the next couple of days, no biggie. But it might be, especially when you do have those times where it's super, super busy, sometimes taking 1 or 2 days off and make sure they're consecutive, in a row. It's just like, it's like you've slept for a week and now you're totally in for the next busy cycle. So I'm just hearing that you might want to consider taking a couple of days off just for you. And, of course, you're going to have the usual stuff that you have, but in the chunk of that, those 2 days off, you have time for you without anything else in the way.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Always good to see you, girls. Sending lots of love.
Yeah, you too. Have a good evening.
Take care. You as well.
Chris Dimmers is up next.
Yes, I would love a card pull. Yes. Okay. Chris, we are pulling from the Archangel deck for you today. And I'm just sorry because I didn't write it down on my pad. My screen keeps shutting off. So we're going to pull a card for you. And actually, I'm going to pull a card for you just as a message rather than using one of the questions. Okay, so we got Uriel, abundance. So I'm going to read this in a couple of different ways. Archangel Uriel is another favorite of mine, and he's the Archangel of Truth. And what I like about Uriel's energy is he's a loving presence. He's very supportive and comforting, but he's supportive and comforting by calling it like he sees it, laying the cards on the table. And I feel like for you right now, with all of the stuff that you got going on, it's important that you be honest with yourself. But here's the thing. It's the knowing honesty with yourself, not the fear, the energy of, okay, well, I need to face facts, or I need to face what other people are saying is the reality or the situation. It's no, I need to really connect with that inner knowing. And Archangel Uriel is coming around to offer that. See this beautiful tree in the center? I feel like this is like the tree of life. And when we talk about the tree of life, we can also talk about the ancestral trees, the tree, the family tree. And I feel like this is what you're kind of in right now. You're in these energies, and Uriel is coming through to provide you with a comforting message of hope and letting you know everything's going to be okay, that this family tree is going to continue to grow and prosper and provide abundance for all in your family. I also feel like for you, there's an energy this week of kind of needing to put a lot of this to the side and really just kind of reconnect with you as a woman, as a person, outside of all of the, I want to say, the hats that you wear, the roles that you play. I'm hearing that it's very important for you to, even though there's a part of you that feels a bit selfish for doing so, I feel like it's so important. Kind of like what Lindsay's message was as well. If you take a couple of days for yourself, and a couple of days might not be possible for you, but if you take some dedicated time for yourself just to get out of all of the, the reality of what's going on and really just reconnect with self, it's going to fill your love cup in big ways. It's going to give you even more than you anticipate in terms of energy to be able to show up and do what needs to be done. So in many ways, I feel like Uriel is also coming up to say, take some time to practice some self-care, because you're in a space right now where you are providing a ton of care to everyone and everything else around you. What about you? Where do you fall in line? I always talk about the love cup. If our love cup is not full and overflowing, or we're coming from half a cup, we're not going to have enough energy to be able to give in the ways that we want to give, and to show up and to help and to heal in the ways that we want to show up and help and heal. So this is a very strong message this week that everything is going to be okay. Hope that this family tree is continuing to thrive. All on the tree are continuing to thrive, that there's ancestral healing that is happening, and ancestral support that is happening for you and through you right now. And it's okay for you to take a little bit of time out to receive and to recharge, because you're moving into, yet another week or another, foreseeable future of, needing to really be powerfully present. So recharge and connect with Archangel Uriel personally as well, in any kind of meditations or just reaching out to him. I need help, right? You guys know I always talk about that. it takes, 20 seconds to say the serenity prayer. It takes a half a second to say serenity now. We do what we gotta, right? So keep it simple. Call on Uriel. Uriel is here. He's got your back. He's got your back, front, sides, bottom, and top, right? That's what I'm feeling. This pink is just really standing out to me as that self-care piece and the unconditional love of source and the unconditional love that you provide to those around you is really significant, and that does not go unnoticed. So honor yourself for that, and know that if you take a couple hours out for yourself, if you take a day out for yourself, or whatever you can manage to, I want to say, to schedule or to fit in, it will be worth its weight in gold. Sending you so much love.
All right, that is all the time we have today.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, check out that post for the GoFundMe, either to provide loving words of support and supportive energy, or if you can help out financially, it would be much appreciated. If you guys are struggling, any kind of transformational stuff going on in your world and in your life, I'm here to help. I'd love to be of service. I got my Essential 30 or the Profound 60 experience. These are basic readings. So any questions you got, come to the table, bring it on. There is no question. I always say there's no question too silly, stupid, or foolish. And it's all it's a judgment-free zone. It's confidential and completely judgment-free. You guys know I live an outside of the lines kind of life. So it doesn't matter what you got going on in your world. If you're needing some clarity and guidance, you're needing a little bit of direction, I'd love to be able to help you out with that. So check it out on the website, theblackfeatherintuitive.com, my Facebook page. You can connect there, and there's a link in the YouTube below as well. And feel free to like, subscribe, and click the bell on my YouTube. YouTube has just recently gone through, another algorithm change. There's all sorts of stuff that's going on. So it's harder to reach people, I'm finding. And you know what? It is what it is. I'm not interested in playing an algorithm game. I'm just showing up and being of service to whoever reaches out. And I feel that it's also part of, part of my mission to make sure that I can create as much visibility as possible. And if you guys are willing to share and like and subscribe, I'm so forever grateful to you for that. Have the most amazing week, guys. We'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks, Keone.